Greetings, Dr. Dalton and fellow classmates of HPRC 5307 Multicultural Counseling. I have conducted a self-interview question and will provide my responses. I describe myself as following. I identify myself as part of the African American race, that of the American black culture, a race that has endured for over some 200 plus years. The African American race, American black culture, has been thriving in careers that were once dominated by the majority race. Now, many professions have been infiltrated with quality African Americans, but the African American culture must still remind its youth about the events of yesteryear in terms as being motivation to be even better than those who went before them. The message to describe myself is one who always see positive, continue to progress, continue to learn and self-develop, stay with hope, and never give up your faith. What does this mean for me? Well, it means that I must keep pushing for education and success, for it set the example for my children and grandchildren to push beyond what I have done or achieved in my lifetime. Also, it is the hope that when people in my race and or my culture see my successes, they understand that hard work does pay off, and it will inspire them to not quit until they reach their endeavors. My role is to keep encouraging African Americans, the American black culture, to work hard and sacrifice in whatever field they desire. Continue to be fair and honest. Continue to tear down those barriers and continue to self-develop. And last but never least, continue to be creative enough to leave something good behind for at least 2 generations that follow. So I think my race survived by doing much with so little. And although my family history is not pure African, our culture has been blended within the so-called American environment, where the rich help shape the future of the country and the black American culture, whether it be good or bad. In my experience, what role do I feel discrimination play in the world? Glad you asked. I think discrimination is present in the world today. Discrimination is like a maze of red tape that takes one being discriminated against through hoops and loops, and once through, one still may end with no success. Discrimination can temporarily block someone of quality from succeeding their endeavors. Discrimination can temporarily block someone from purchasing a home in a community of choice. Discrimination can cause mental, physical, and financial harm to those being discriminated against, thus sending them into oppression and then depression. All of this stems from racism, discrimination, hatred, stereotype, and or jealousy. Is this a real problem in 2017? Absolutely, it is still an issue, but less than it was some 50 or even 40 years ago. As more people become educated, develop more consideration for others, and have more respect for diverse backgrounds, only then will the walls of discrimination begin to fall, but I suspect not eliminated. But just like the worldly discoveries, discrimination can be hidden in the closet for an unknown period until exposed. This hidden discrimination would be similar to the little monster that hides within us and that is waiting for the right time to show out. Do you think the LBGTQI community has adequate rights in the U.S. today. Not yet. But it is a work in progress. The issue of rights for the LBGTQIA community will be dependent on personal beliefs of those with the power to impact the law. It is my belief that only when more people of the LBGTQIA community enter the field of law and Congress, only then will we be able to see greater impacts about the rights of that community. When the LBGTQIA community in the Western world is accepted like interracial relationships, that will be the beginning of a great start. But there again, interrelational relationships are not fully accepted across racial and cultural lines. In the Eastern countries, open practice of the LBGT community is certainly a hard line to sell due to religious reasons. Do you think they are still discriminated against today? Yes. How about the women? Yes. People of color? Yes. People with disabilities? Yes. People with psychiatric disabilities? Yes. People who are immigrants? Yes. People who are of faith other than Christianity, including those who do not ascribe to any religion? Yes. People who are poor? Yes. Everything aforementioned here is about diversity, and diversity can coexist along with a pure race if allowed, tolerated, and the person is educated. The issue is that there are some people who do not like diversity or do not like to see other people prosperous. Example, recently my wife and I went to a Houston Astros baseball game in which we purchased tickets behind the home plate area. As we walked into the stadium section where our seats were located, a stadium worker said, "We don't see many of you behind home plate." My message to the stadium worker was, "Get ready, more is coming. Now please escort us to our seats. Thank you." Next question. How prepared are you, or how prepared do you feel today in this moment to work with people with vastly different backgrounds than your own? Well, I think that I am never fully prepared because people are so dynamic and diverse that one never knows the type of person that is coming forth for a counseling visit. But nevertheless, I think I'm ready. I have spent over 32 years in the United States Army and now with the Department of Veteran Affairs, and I have associated myself with many people of various backgrounds, countries, armies, contractors, education, law enforcement, government officials, generals, sergeants, privates, and other personnel from different services, people in finances, stocks, bonds, auto dealers, school-age children, college kids, criminals, people with disabilities, different religious denominations and non-denominations, and I feel that I can work with anybody. I've found that we all have something in common, such as family, friends, vacation, activities, sports, music, laughter, respect, past relationship, school, college, and or even in combat. But having consideration of others and having the patience to listen are the keys that will enable me to work with others from the various cultures and backgrounds. Next question. When you think about your role in the helping profession, what do you think will be your biggest challenge in working with those who are culturally different from you? My answer is fully understanding what multicultural counseling approaches work best with the different cultures, because it could be that the person who we're dealing with they have a very blended culture. They are very diverse, and so they have many experiences versus the experiences that I have. So definitely fully understanding multicultural, multicultural counseling approaches and people in general. That definitely was going to be one of my biggest challenges. Do you feel less comfortable with or less knowledgeable about a particular group? I am still learning about the LBGTQI community, but my passion is to be uh, considerate, and being considerate is bring about an easement to enjoy the experience. So I have to learn to be honest up front about my experiences. Next question. Do you feel you may be more tolerant of any particular group? It is my hope and pledge to be fair and honest across the board, not giving special favors to any one regardless of the cultural background. How important do you think your race, ethnicity, gender, age, sexual orientation, religious ability, socioeconomic status, etc., will be to your clients? I think it will be very important for clients to see me as a professional and not these things you had mentioned, as it may be something that they can identify with easier and become open to communications during the counseling process. So the first impression is a lasting impression. And like being the first batter of a baseball game and hitting a home run sets the tone for the rest of the game. If clients are able to enter an environment of common ground, I believe it sets the stage for good reciprocal communication and also for a good counseling session. I think the energy level of the counselor charges the environment, but granted, everyone might not be looking for that type of energy. Next question. How comfortable are you with talking with people of different sexual orientations from your own about issues concerning sex and sexuality? I say I would be comfortable because I know who I am, and what affects you does not apply to me. I will respect what the client have going on at all times. Next question. If you are straight, that would mean talking about issues that affect the LBGTQIA community with members of that community. Like I had mentioned before, this is a new area for me. I will require practice to mentally understand the issues that affect the LBGTQIA community. For example, how might it be different for you to talk openly about sexuality and relationship with a person or couples who are straight versus gay or lesbian? This is all about the client and helping them to create a plan or a goal to achieve their life fulfillment. As their counselor, we are not to dictate who the client loves, or who they have relations with. Helping the client to determine what they want would be the goal. And at the end of the day, we all have commonalities that can bridge the gap of differences. But understanding relationships and sexuality are sensitive topics, and being considerate is a must for the client's desires. Next question. What about in other areas of cultural differences, such as talking to inner city African American youth about Black Lives Matter movement, talking to a person who is an atheist about spirituality and religion, talking to a man about gender bias in his workplace, talking to a person with a psychiatric disability about discrimination in the workplace. Next, talking about a person in a wheelchair who uses a wheelchair for accessibility, community service, and transportation. Now, right off the bat, I am an inner city African American. Grew up in the inner city, had those inner city experiences. The answer to all of this is being considerate to others and their backgrounds, being respectful of the client's belief. The counselors are not in business of changing the clients, but rather helping them to see themselves do well, get them to mark plans so they can move forward into the future. What will be the biggest hurdle for me as we discuss sensitive topics related to privileges and oppression? Privileges and oppression. So I would say those sensitive topics related to privilege and oppression. So understanding the LBGTQIA community, I have to learn more about these issues for their rights, and also understand because they have less rights, feel how they feel, and describe their oppression. Perhaps creating or have an impact within that community, help things change so they can have better rights. What strength, knowledge, or experience do you bring to our class that would help to forward our cultural competencies? I am an African American male who grew up in the city, but I matured during my 32 years of military service with others from various cultures and backgrounds from around the world. This is the experience that I will bring to the class. Although I am not a counselor yet, I do have experiences that may be of value to the class. What traits and tendencies do you have that might impair others from growing or feeling comfortable with you? I hope to have nothing negative that impacts others within a class. It is not my intention to negatively impact others, but be positive in regards. I feel that my job is to be open and transparent as much as possible and allow understanding about my ways and backgrounds to be viewable and approachable to others. How might I work to transform these traits? Listen more, respond accordingly from my experience, ask questions while being value added to my classmates. What fears or concerns do I have as we start the semester? None. I have no fears. This is the learning environment, and I am here to learn. What do you hope, or what do I hope to take away from the class? Well, I hope to take away knowledge and understandings about how culture differs in communication and which counseling techniques work best for the various cultures. Although I have a considerable amount of respect and consideration for others, I am always going to learn and understand more about the subject. This concludes my responses for the set of questions. You all have a great day, and thank you for listening.